morning, gentlemen. How's everybody doing today?
Yeah, really good. Thank you.
Really well, thank you.
Thank you for this film, which of course we got to see here in Toronto at the virtual Toronto Film Festival. So thank you for bringing that. Ben, I wanted to start with you because it's such a beautiful film. I absolutely loved it. And you yourself have such an interesting background because you did spend time in Syria. So I wanted to know from you, what was it that inspired you to write this beautiful film?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that stems back, as you say, it's over 10 years to that point where I was living in Syria, which is just the year before the civil war started. Shortly after that, I returned to kind of finish university, and my degree was in Arabic and politics. And I think one of the things that's quite particular to that degree is that you study a lot about Orientalism and the construction of the other. And kind of flash forward, I sort of decided that I wanted to be a filmmaker. So I went to film school, and then I ended up working with an NGO and going out to the Sahrawi refugee camps in southern Algeria. And I was staying with a family there and working on a project that was specifically about identity and how the label of being a refugee affects identity. And then kind of flash forward again, when the refugee crisis became very prevalent in the media, I was at that point, I was also still in touch with people that I had made friends with in Syria. But I was really struck by the representation of refugees, that how on the one side we had the dehumanizing we had the demonizing of refugees, which is dehumanizing. But we also had the pitying of refugees that very quickly became dehumanizing as well. And I just felt that there was this kind of gap in the middle where we weren't looking at refugees as human beings like us that we can relate to. And I had this sort of really strong desire to write a film about it. And so it started out with a desire to write a film about the refugee crisis as a broad subject. And then I kind of went off on this journey to try and figure out how to do that with my sensibilities as a filmmaker and a list of things to avoid when approaching the subject.
Yeah, I can imagine. And Amir, congratulations to you on this amazing, brilliant performance. Wow, my heart so went out to you. And I wanted to know, when you first got this script, you were approached and you read this, were you a little nervous about it? It's a hefty role.
Yeah, definitely nervous. I mean, it's my kind of biggest role I've done to date, and I was more tentative about the subject matter than taking on the role. And in fact, I relished it, and I thought anyone would be really lucky to do it. But I was worried because of in previous depictions, you don't have a central character like Omar leading the story. You have someone from a completely different culture showing him a better way of life. But with this, I really relished the opportunity, and I auditioned and waited like I was in like Omar. But yeah, I mean, I think after 2 months, and then we had some chemistry reads with Vikash as well, and it was finally, we could get our teeth stuck into the rehearsal process and everything.
Yeah, and Vikash, it was a great segue, because I was going to ask about the chemistry. I love the scenes with the two of you together. No matter what situation you're in this world, if you don't have a friend and somebody that you can rely on, what's the point? And Absolutely. The chemistry between the two of you is just dynamic. I loved watching it. Was it instant between the two of you? Tell me a little bit about working together.
No, I mean, it was real hard work, actually, man.
It was too tough. There's a lot of acting involved.
Off screen, they wouldn't talk to each other at all.
I'm sure.
I was just annoyed because you had a bigger caravan than me and all that kind of stuff. He had a bigger TV in his room.
That's true.
He got to play with the chicken more.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Catering was always different.
See, you can see The tension is palpable.
I can see for sure. But being on this location too, and in all seriousness, you know, I can imagine that it would have added to the chemistry between the two of you as well.
We actually met,
sure.
so we met a few years back before on another job, but we didn't have any scenes together. But it just so happened that we were both free on the days that we weren't shooting, we just hang out. And I remember Vikash helping me with the self-tape until the early hours. I was like, this guy, he's a really good guy. He's really, really, really kind. He's pretty sweet. And then all of a sudden, like, fast forward a couple of years, and then I see him in the chemistry. So I'm like, yes, absolutely. Oh my God, this is amazing. And I think Ben and Dan Jackson and Ross Barrett, the casting directors, could see that we instantaneously kind of magnetized towards one another.
Yeah.
That, I mean, it really made that whole process of the chemistry just incredibly easy. You know, it just felt like you hit the ground running coming into that room. So, you know, ever grateful to my man there.
Yeah. and grateful to the chicken. You have to be grateful.
I'm grateful to the chicken. Yeah,
let's not talk about a chicken because it's a sensitive subject. Like, the chicken had a body double, and
prima donna, I'm sure.
We didn't get the body doubles.
Yeah, Ben, as I can see, you probably didn't have too much fun with these guys, I can imagine. But what I find amazing in this movie is because it really is a serious topic, no question about it. But you infuse so much humor in it. How important was that to get the balance of the humor and the drama? Because I think that when you have humor, people learn from it a little better.
Yeah, I mean, it was absolutely, essential, and it was sort of part of the kind of desire to make this film from the very beginning, was to deal with this subject matter and use this sort of mix of humor and drama. So it was, but it wasn't easy. It was a massive challenge all the way through the process, and really kind of holding the line and from every single stage, it was something that we were constantly working on and constantly talking about. From the rehearsals of these guys hearing the lines out loud for the first time, and balancing the performances so it kind of doesn't go too far in either direction. And then, moving, even, the production design or the cinematography. I mean, really a lot of it is as well creating an undertone of humor in the film, and doing that through the use of composition and how we lens the scenes. But it would be, even the smallest things that, like, at moments there would be a sort of an item of clothing, like a hat, that would be too colorful. And we'd look at the composition and go, this maybe feels a bit too playful because of that hat being too colorful. So we'll take that out and we'll, swap it for something else, and it'll just sort of even things out. So it was, it was something that we were very focused on, and we worked really hard on, and spent a lot of time in the edit as well, balancing the tone of the film.
I know that you guys are, look, COVID and everything, and I know you're probably disappointed that we didn't get to, have a big splashy premiere and all this, but, realistically, when you look at the sense of what this film is all about isolation, about, not being able to see your family, these are all themes that we are all relating to over this past year. Amir, how do you feel about something like that? Because I think that this movie will really resonate with people more than ever now.
100%, definitely. It's so relevant now, and I completely agree with you. It's not just a story about the refugee crisis. It's about loss of identity. It's about, actually, in actual fact, on a personal level, it's really made me think inwardly. It's made me think about, where I prioritize my energy, where I put my energy, or who I talk to, and who is really important or adds value to my life as well. So, and I think that's something that a lot of people have been kind of reflecting on in the past couple of years. Yeah,
it's just a wonderful film, and I really do appreciate the three of your time this morning. Congratulations on everything, and maybe, once these borders are open again, we'll have you come back to Toronto and we'll give you some big splashy party here. Okay? How's that?
That'd be great. Thank you, Bonnie.
All right, thanks so much, guys. Appreciate your time.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Bye.